Hello, my name is Dejen Sun. I come from Taiwan. It is a great privilege for me to be here today. I have 20 minutes to share with you what I have done in the past some 20 years. You may need 2 days to read through and get a picture of my school. Musicians are aware of that. A piece of composition for 20 minutes may take a composer 20 years to compose, and for a conductor to rehearse at least 2 days. Thank you. This is ARCO School. It's the first MI school in Asia. It was founded to enhance students' learning ability and motivation. I'm the founder. I received professional training as a conductor from the United States, and I became a music educator when I found that there was some problem in the educational system in Taiwan, so I began to study. To get involved in a huge construction like education reform, every step was too important to be ignored. And a shift of paradigm in education began with asking the right questions. Questions for an education reform. What kind of students do we wish to educate? How can we guarantee that all students are capable of learning? How will a student be willing to learn? How should we teach? What should a student learn so that he is well prepared to enter society? So the journey took me 6 months of traveling to investigate into problems, 10 years of study to conclude and answer, another 17 years of devotion to implement the theory into practice. Let's talk about the shift of paradigm. The learners used to be regarded as empty cups, now shift to different seats. Education is to pour in knowledge, shift to immerse into simulations. The goal for future students used to be reach standard, now shift to retain originality. Leading role in class used to be the teacher, now the learner. Progress of the learning according to lesson plan, now shift to activity design. Teacher's role used to be teaching, now coaching. How should we approach? Used to be calibrating, now celebrating. How do we evaluate? Used to be the result, now the progress. Teaching progress used to be one level, now multiple levels. Key to individual difference used to be single teaching, now shift to cooperative learning. Approach to build character used to be by preaching, now by awakening. Subject allocation in time schedule used to be emphasis basic 3R, now to multiple intelligence balanced. I'd like to talk about from theory to practice. Multiple intelligence theory, we believe there were only incompetent teachers, but no incapable students. As a conductor, I help students learning to conduct in 3 stages. Reflect music, build skills, and forget skills. As an educator, I taught teachers and parents accompanying children to learn in 3 stages. First, create an environment. Second, build skills. Third, forget skills. So how do we create an environment First, we train teachers by interview, by giving seminar, or have them do real teaching, or have them teaching other teachers. How do we set schedule? This is time schedule for our student grade 1 to 2. So we have whole day. And we have multiple intelligence balanced schedule. This is the space we need. We have 5 rooms for private lessons, 5 classrooms for practice system. And we establish an orchestra for the school. Effective learning takes efforts in preparing an environment that students could learn in different ways. At ARCO, we establish an orchestra to support it. In general, students have to study an instrument for several years before entering an orchestra. ARCO students, however, may enter the orchestra after a year or less time, as they made in the orchestra. The atmosphere motivated them to work hard, and the cooperative learning helped them to excel in an amazing way, and it has just begun. Okay, we have a practice system planned. Clear goal in all activities. So we had goal in music, we had goal in character. And we have a tour designed. We have practice hour at work. Teachers assign practice goals, and coaches assist students practice according to the goal. We also have practice assistant. By teaching another, one learns better. The photo shows a cello student help another to level his bow by showing mirror motion. A violin student help another student to check the goal reached. In the timeline, our students begin a day with practicing in the morning. This is our string section. This is a percussion section. So they do one goal, or they have combination of different goals. This is our wind section. You can see at science class, teacher conducted an experiment about water and winds. Students learn to control a longer breath. So everything is connected in our curriculum. We also have master class. Students were given master class monthly to polish technique and get rid of bad habits. So we try to help them working in harmony with their instrument. ARCO was not a school for future musicians. However, the passion in music did encourage students to consider a career in music. In the Research in Action project, students were allowed to explore their possibilities in future. A student found a model, explored the intelligences needed for a musician, examined the characters needed to be a musician, and evaluated himself. He planned his work and worked his plan, and ultimately became the recipient of President's Award for Educational Excellence in the USA. We also have a software called Sibelius. And this software was used to help students who desire to pass orchestra audition. So they can do many things with the software. By copying scores, a student explores the system of notation and shall discover the form of the composition. Students can do many activities while listening to music played by the computer software, feeling the meter, learning the pitch and rhythm. Listening to music for many times is very helpful for students with less orchestra experience. With music sounding in the background, working on the bowing before working on the notes enhance the sensation of the meter and feeling secure upon musical entrances. So in our practice system, demands good bowing habits. Playing right on pitch is essential to all musicians. especially for orchestra players. Listen to the lowest note of a chord and build the harmony above. So we're working in harmony with others. I'd like to share with you about music education within a general education school. At ARCO, cooperative learning in action. In music education, students at different levels learning together at the same time is possible. How about other subjects? From the picture we see, students sometimes can work on something independently, but sometimes they can do it cooperate. Like one child held the instrument, the others using the bow, and they do it in all kind of combination. Music is the key for character building, working in harmony with self or with others. We have interdisciplinary curriculum, so we apply new elements of music into reality. For example, Mozart's Concerto for Flute and Harp. It has symmetry in music, so we use the music in the play, so kids follow the music, and they show in two directions. We also find symmetry in math and Chinese. At ARCO, we move into music instead of adding movement into music. On this photo, you see using Brahms' Symphony No. 1 as the invisible director for the opera. So they only listen to the music and they dance. Music education also helps self-awareness. In music, we have motive, but in our education, we help students to listen to your heart. Music is a language to express what you learn with what you know. Science class students trying to form a snowflake. So they sing the song with snowflakes and show the direction. This is English class. They listen to the tone of a line. And in science class, in the play, they express the character with its timbre. ARCO apply music to awaken mathematics. So we teach music in mathematics. Pause is the number line in music. Music is sound and silence organized in time. So when we learn math, we do it with music. And this multiplication chanting, student can do it in a solo, or in a duet, or in a trio form. And we distinguish different elements from music and mathematics. In this, counting in group of 3 with the third number spoken. It feels meter in music, but it's working on the multiple in mathematics. Sometimes when music skills are difficult, for example, triplets, when we have 2 against 3, and we use mathematics to understand music. So we give some kind of solution. Wally works every other day. Eve works every 3 days. In how many days will they meet again? So if you would do with me, use your right hand, right and right and right and left hand, left and left and left and left and. Now we do it both and right, left, right, and both and right, left, right, and. So you do 2 against 3 in just 10 minutes. How do we evaluate knowledge? Knowledge could be written down by a pen, presented by a chart, demonstrated by a play or fun games. Skills could be evaluated by replicating a situation, reciting a multiplication table with body language, or solving a problem. Character could be observed from behaviors during interaction, compassion upon a calling, sympathize with others, or seeking a higher quality of self. A school of quality. The function of character education is to seek top quality of life and to expand greatest capacity of oneself. For example, hydrogen peroxide is a common solution, and its value increases as the degree of concentration elevates. 70% of H2O2 with a catalyst can impel a rocket to space. At ARCO, character education empowers students to retain on their optima. The environment created within the curriculum was a catalyst to impel students' intelligence for carrying out the dream. The education reform, how did it make a difference? In the year 1999, Hong Kong was thinking of an education reform and found Taiwan as the example to learn of. Hong Kong began its education reform in the year of 2000 and announced its success in 2010. Taiwan began its education reform in 1994, has been striving for a positive result. Many people were not satisfied yet. Let's look at the IMD, the World Competitiveness Ranking. Do you see, is there a correlation? Okay, this is school system in Taiwan. We have public school, we have private school, and ARCO is kind of in between. Steps for government to implement ARCO-ish reforms. You need to find a capable leader to take charge of the project and grant him full authority to recruit a team. Establish an experimental institute to activate the new system without the entanglement of the previous system, so people could visualize the future picture of the reform. And recruit teachers with needed profession and passion to the mission to train as seed teachers. So ideal teachers would be music training preferable. Steps on teacher training for Austrians. Conduct seminars to advocate the reform and attract educators who desire to participate. The speech should include questions and answers to the reform, the philosophy, the theory, the practice, and the vision. Recruit seed teachers from the seminar and immerse them into a new system and observe the class. Put teachers in actual teaching situation, including design class activities, enjoying collaborative teaching, and teaching other teachers to empower their teaching skills. The ideal teachers, competent enough to lead, humble enough to serve. Cost, to implement ARCO curriculum into a public school. Instruments for a basic size orchestra, private lesson instruments for students who do not own one, service charge to maintain instruments in good shape, a lab for listening, computer technology, music notation software, salary for private lesson teachers, fund for teacher training. Ideal situation would be, for you, music schools take charge. It will save you a lot of money. ARCO, literally a touching song. A musician can turn music into a song. An educator can turn a student's life into a song. Thank you.